What is it that a man wants from his wife? What is the primary emotion that he wants from his wife? Well, the primary emotion, according to modern psychologists, I'll bring in the Quran and Sunnah later. The primary emotion that men want from their wives is that of respect. That of respect. When a wife respects her husband, when a wife shows respect to her husband, the husband reciprocates that respect by giving the woman her primary need. And what is the need that the woman has? What is the primary need that a woman wants from her husband? What's the primary emotion? That is the continual love and the continual enveloping of that attention that the husband always makes his wife his priority. The husband always shows his wife that I'm thinking about you, I'm caring about you, i.e., I will always love you. So, what does the man want? Respect. When he gets respect, what does he do? He gives what the wife wants. What does the wife want? To feel loved, to feel cherished, to feel always thought about, taken care of, that the priorities of the husband are the feelings of the wife. And when the husband is shown respect, he will reciprocate by giving his wife that love. And when the wife is loved, she will reciprocate by giving the husband the respect that he deserves. So I want to talk a little bit about these two emotions. What does it mean, respect and love? These are empty words until we translate them into realities. And by the way, I can bring in the Quran and Sunnah to demonstrate this reality. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, الرِّجَالُ قَوَّامُونَ عَلَى النِّسَاءِ, that men are qawwam over women. And qawwam means to be in charge of. This is the literal meaning of the Quran. Qawwam means the one who will take care of the other. Qawwam means the one who will be the one in charge. So what is the one in charge? The one who is shown respect. And we have that famous hadith, and no doubt this hadith is misused and abused, and we have to point this out as well. But it is the famous hadith that when once Mu'adh ibn Jabal came back from Syria, and he entered the masjid of the Prophet ﷺ, and he fell down in sajda in front of the Prophet ﷺ. And the Prophet ﷺ said to him, Ya Mu'adh, what are you doing? Who told you to prostrate to me? Why are you doing this? So Mu'adh ibn Jabal said, I returned from Syria. I found the people prostrating to their rabbis and their elders out of respect. And I felt you deserve this respect more than those priests and those rabbis. What did our Prophet say? It's a famous hadith. I should say it's an infamous hadith. All of you have heard of it. But I want to be clear here. It's not my job to apologize on behalf of what the Prophet ﷺ said. It's not my job to cover up his teachings. It is my job to teach those teachings, whether a person likes them or not. If I didn't do that, I would not be worthy of standing where I'm standing. What did the Prophet ﷺ say? Verily Allah has forbidden any human to prostrate to another human. Hadith is in Bukhari and Muslim, Abu Dawud and Tirmidhi. It's clearly authentic. Verily Allah has forbidden any human to prostrate to another human. But if he were to have allowed this, if a concession were to have been made, there is no concession. If a concession were to have been made, I would have told the wife to prostrate to her husband out of what the respect and duty she owes to him. Now what is this prostration? It is the prostration of respect. The prostration of respect. And what does this show? That the wife gives respect to the husband. And what will the husband give back? The husband will give back that love, that cherishing, that nurturing that the wife craves. So the question is, what does it mean for the wife to respect the husband? And what does it mean for the husband to show love to his wife? And by the way, much of what I'm going to say, it actually comes from a very interesting book that I recommend all of you to read. It was written by a self-proclaimed ex-feminist. She went through, I think, 3 marriages. I forgot now exactly how many. She married, divorced, and she said something must be wrong. Something's not working. She thought she's a nice girl, she's a nice woman. Why aren't my marriages working? So she decided to leave her feminism and to accept a different philosophy of life. And she wrote a book about this, and I encourage you to read this book. It is called The Surrendered Wife by Laura Doyle. The Surrendered Wife. It's on the Amazon bestsellers list, you'll find it. And she herself said, I used to be a feminist, but then I changed my attitude, changed my perspective, and I have never been happier in my life. And her husband is loving her. Her husband it's a great marriage. They're a great couple together. She's been married for more than a decade, and she decided to write about her own experiences, and she called it The Surrendered Wife. Now, and most of my material is taken from this book. What does she say? She says that when the wife shows that respect to her husband, when she trusts her husband, when she shows that husband that I know you'll take care of me, I know you'll do your job, guess what? Amazingly, he actually does do his job. When she lets go of power and control, when she stops trying to be the boss and domineering, double guess, second guess every single statement he says, try to be maneuvering, manipulative, when she simply trusts him and allows him to be who he is, and that is her husband, what happens? He begins showing her the compassion, the romance, the love, the admiration that she herself craves. When he becomes a man, he will treat her like a woman. And when she treats him like a woman, he will also become a man. And so Allah Azza wa Jal has laid this out very clearly in the Quran. So what does it mean to show him respect? A few very specific points. Number one, respect his knowledge and his judgment. Wives, respect your husband's knowledge and judgment. When your husband makes a decision, don't double guess him. Don't doubt him. Don't try to make him feel he's not intelligent, he's not qualified to do what he's doing. In other words, don't treat him like a child. Classic example happens all the time. Husband is driving and the wife thinks that this is the wrong way. The wife says, no, you should exit here. You just missed the highway exit. This is where you're supposed to exit from, right? What has just happened here? The husband becomes irritated. I know where I'm going, don't worry. I know it's right ahead, right? What's happened here? Well, the wife has doubted her husband's sense of power, sense of being in charge, sense of responsibility. And what happens here when a husband is challenged, he becomes, what's he going to become when he's challenged? Argumentative. He becomes, immediately he'll retort back, what do you know? You did this, you did that. Now, if he turns out to be wrong and you were right, this leads me to point two. Suppose you were right, that was the exit. Well then, this leads me to point two. Let the husband make his mistakes and learn from his own mistakes. Because when he makes a mistake, he won't be able to get angry at anybody else. But when you make a mistake and you tell your husband to make that mistake, you're never going to hear the end of it, and you all know what I'm talking about. Let the husband make his mistake and let him learn from his mistake. And don't become his mother. Believe me, no man wants to marry a motherly figure. He has his mother, alhamdulillah for that. He doesn't want his wife to start lecturing him, to start daunting him, like only his mother is allowed to daunt him. Right? Mothers have privileges, they don't extend to their daughter-in-laws. So, suppose he did take that wrong turn. Suppose he missed the exit. Guess what? He's never going to miss that exit ever again. He's learned from his mistake. And the fact that you didn't put it in his mind, you were just quiet, you let him do his decision, khalas, no big deal. Next time it's not going to happen. So what if you arrive at the party 5 minutes late? I mean, we all arrive 20, 30 minutes late. It's part of being Desi and Muslim. What's the big deal? That's not going to be the end of the world. The third point here. The third point about showing respect. Trust his capability in taking on the projects that he wants to take on. Don't be sarcastic or diminishing of any project he feels that he wants to do.